Hello everyone, I'm Super Twonky.
You just say the word.
Welcome back to Fallout 4. And in this video, I thought it would be fun to load up the very first Fallout 4 character I ever played. This is on the Xbox One. And yeah, so I actually could not get the Xbox to record my microphone audio. So this is all voiceover, and I will do my best to try to get everything to match up with what's on the screen. But yeah, this is a character named Twonky. That is apparently what he looks like. I'm not sure exactly what I was going for, but there he is. And it's all on normal difficulty. So we're in my settlement and sanctuary here, on top of a building I created there. And this is probably shortly after completing the game. I decided to side with the Institute on my first playthrough, and I don't remember doing too much after that, after the ending. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to take a trip down memory lane. Looks like we've got Kate as a companion. And I can kind of show you around the building here. We've got a few bedrooms and with beds and dressers and stuff. There's another one over here. And a third bedroom over here where Piper's hanging out. And then downstairs we've got kind of a nice little living room area where I set up Mama Murphy's chair. And then there's a bathroom over here, kind of a little private room. And yeah, I think that's kind of all I set up in Sanctuary. You can see I didn't quite know what I was doing with the electricity. I'm pretty sure I didn't need all of those electrical switch boxes, but there we go. And several suits of power armor just kind of lying around. So that's great. And yeah, the main build I was going for with this guy was a melee focused build. I wanted to be kind of a like run around, get in your face melee character, like a tanky build. So yeah, that's what I went with on my very first character. But if I remember correctly, I have a variety of weapons equipped besides just melee. And it looks like, yeah, I went with the vault suit pretty much the whole time, because that's the only way I could figure out how to actually wear the legendary armor that I was finding. I didn't realize that you could wear different under armor, like the army fatigues or military fatigues. So I just pretty much went with the Vault 111 jumpsuit for the entire run, because I didn't know what else I could do. So yeah, we've got a variety of just random legendary armor equipped. And then I think what I'm gonna do here is go through what my weapon slots are. So yeah, we've got a heated super sledge. That was my primary weapon for most of the run, as well as Kremp's tooth. So even back then when I didn't know what I was doing, I at least was able to find Kremp's tooth and knew it was awesome enough to use. And then we've also got a never-ending gamma gun for some reason. The Righteous Authority, pretty good weapon. I had a plasma-infused combat shotgun, which actually sounds pretty cool. A 2-shot laser rifle, not bad. A wounding combat sniper rifle, that would actually make a good automatic weapon. But I don't think I really bothered upgrading any guns. Just a 308 combat rifle and a 44 pistol. Because yeah, as a melee build, I didn't really take any points in gun nut. And yeah, there's me with the super sledge and the Kremp's tooth. Yeah, I didn't take gun nut. I didn't take any damage perks other than, I believe, big leagues. But yeah, we'll kind of go through my perk tree here. So full points into strength for the melee damage. I went 8 points into endurance. And then we'll go through some of the perks here. Yeah, I noticed I went with 6 charisma, but never took local leader. So I'm not sure why I bothered getting 6 charisma. 4 intelligence for hacker. And 4 perception for locksmith, as I'm sure is very common among new players in this game. There's kind of that fear of missing out if you're not able to hack all the terminals and pick all the locks on your first playthrough. I got Action Boy from Agility, being up to 6. And with luck, I went with Idiot Savant. I went with rank 3, which I guess at the time I didn't realize that was a mistake. In general, I think you only want to go with rank 3 of Idiot Savant if you also have maxed out intelligence. Otherwise, rank 2 is probably going to give you more experience overall. Apparently a mysterious stranger I thought was a good idea. And it looks like I've got Bloody Mess there too. So let's see what what else I have. We've got Big Leagues, no armor, but I do have Blacksmith, so I was at least upgrading my melee weapons. Strongback, and I remember I put Strongback to 4 because I wanted to be able to get as much junk as I can. I think in particular what prompted me to bring it up to 4 to enable fast travel was the boxing gym at the General Atomics Galleria. I wanted to be able to grab all of the heavy weights and bring them back to my workbench, so that was the main reason why I got Strongback 4. And then I also took Basher because before I played Fallout 4, I was really into Borderlands 2, and the way melee builds worked in Borderlands 2 is you find a gun with a blade attachment, like a bayonet on it, and that's your melee weapon. So, like a common one people use is the Ruby. It's a pistol that heals you for a percentage of the damage you deal. And a lot of good melee builds, you find a Ruby, and you farm a variant of it that has the blade attachment on it, and you use that pistol as your main melee weapon. So I was kind of in that mode, and not really thinking about how this game having dedicated melee weapons, I figured, oh yeah, I'll do the Borderlands thing, get a gun with a bayonet on it, and take Basher. And that'll be my melee weapon. And I didn't realize that, in general, gun bashing kind of sucks in this game. You can make a somewhat effective build with the Basher perk, but it probably requires like getting 4 ranks of Basher to get the critical hits from it, and then you probably want better criticals, and ideally like a lucky weapon for even more critical damage. But I mean, there's no way I would have known to do that on my first run, so I basically just wasted 3 points into Basher, and I think I tried gun bashing with like a double-barreled shotgun early in the game, and kind of realized, yeah, this isn't very effective. And then further down the strength tree, we've got Pain Train, because I'm guessing I thought that sounded fun, and assumed it was a good perk, because it required strength 10, so yeah. And then other perks I took, Toughness, which actually was probably a smart choice on this build, since I had no idea Ballistic Weave existed. I didn't even know Army Fatigues and Military Fatigues existed, so Toughness actually probably did a lot for me. A random point into Life Giver. Not sure why I put that at 1 and put Rad Resistant at 2. It would have been much better to ignore Rad Resistant and put Life Giver up to 3. But at least I recognized that Adamantium Skeleton was a good perk and picked that. So Charisma, I took 2 ranks of Lone Wanderer, but didn't pick rank 3, which is really good, 25% more damage. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I used Companions. I ended up using Companions a lot later on, so I figured it wouldn't be worth it. And then again, not sure. I'm pretty sure I have 6 Charisma on this guy. So yeah, not sure why I didn't take Local Leader. Agility, yeah, we just have Action Boy. And yeah, that's pretty much my whole perk tree. So I believe the next thing we're going to show you is a few containers I'd set up here. I was afraid to sell anything because I didn't really understand how the like weapon upgrading system in this game worked or how rare or common certain things were. So I was kind of a hoarder in on this run, mainly out of fear of accidentally selling something that was actually good. So we've got, I don't know what the difference is between these two cabinets. In this one I've got just some kind of random stuff. Actually that kneecap or plasma scattergun looks pretty awesome. And then we've also got like a couple of uniques in here, the Furious Power Fist and Le Fusil Terrible. And why not? Yeah, Vertibird Signal Grenades, even though I don't remember ever using those. And then this cabinet has just a bunch of random stuff in it. Mostly legendaries, but also like a bunch of armor, like non-legendary armor and stuff that I was afraid to get rid of because I was like, I might need that someday. Like, who knows, maybe I'll need 6 assault gas masks. And we'll go further down the list here. Yeah, just like an assault rifle, a few automatic laser pistols, some Brotherhood of Steel power armor. Like, yeah, I was like, yeah, you know, I might need this breezed armor. Who knows? Same, like, don't want to get rid of those burnt textbooks. That's like the most useless item in the whole game. You know, a few random legendaries here and there. Some combat armor, crippling missile launcher. It's pretty cool. Wait, that's 2 crippling missile launchers. Huh, it's kind of funny. Yeah, I just put the deliverer in here. I don't know if I ever actually used it on this run. I don't remember using it. Oh, yeah, and I had an explosive minigun. And just threw it in the cabinet with all the rest of the junk. Because I had no clue what I had found. Like, yeah, this was actually a surprise to me. I did not realize I had an explosive minigun on this character. So it was just like not remarkable to me at the moment, I guess, that I didn't realize I'd found one of the most broken weapons in the whole game. So into the cabinet of randomness it went. You know, never know when you're gonna need 5 Fat Mans. And then, yeah, some other random legendary stuff. As well as just random armor. And then, oh yeah, you see that down there? We also found an instigating Gauss rifle on this run, which, of course, I had no idea was amazing. Like, 2 of the, like, best possible legendaries you could get, I had apparently gotten on my very first Fallout 4 run. And had no clue how good they were, and just shoved them into a cabinet, never to be seen again. I guess with the instigating Gauss rifle, since I didn't take science or gun nut, and so I couldn't really upgrade it, its stats don't really look that remarkable. So I can kind of understand how I just didn't realize what I had found. But it's still kind of funny that both of these insane weapons just got shoved into the cabinet. And further down the list, yeah, just... Oh, yeah, the Mighty Minigun. You know what, there's military fatigues in here. I must have just never thought of using them. Like, I found them out in the world, but never thought of actually trying to use them with armor. Crazy. And I'm pausing on this Nocturnal Pipe Bolt action pistol because this was the very first legendary I found. And I was, like I said before, I was used to the Borderlands 2 system. So I was like, oh, a legendary. Like in Borderlands 2, if you find an early legendary, it's probably going to carry you, depending on what it is, but most legendaries are gonna carry you pretty far, you know, at least for a few levels. And so I kind of had that mindset where I'm like, oh, this is special. I found a legendary. This has got to be good. And of course, like, a Nocturnal bolt action pipe gun is awful. So, yeah. I eventually realized that. And then, yeah, nothing else super remarkable. There's some good, like, VATS enhanced stuff, though I don't remember really using VATS terribly often in this game. Wounding missile launcher's kind of funny. Yeah, this box just has a bunch of random pre-war food in it, I guess. And then here's what my map looked like at the end of the game. I actually did a pretty good job of exploring locations. If I remember correctly, I think one of the first things I did when I started the game is I just kind of explored the northern part of the map. I kind of vaguely recall discovering Outpost Zimonja and just getting wrecked because I went there when I was way too low of a level. But yeah, pretty decent amount of stuff discovered. I'm pretty sure I went to the Wilson Automatoys factory for, I forget his name, that ghoul at the slog, for his mission there. Yeah, this is what my character looked like before I was even considering doing survival mode. Yeah, I figured it'd be fun to grab the minigun and take it for a spin here on normal difficulty. I don't have any perks that benefit it, like Demolition Expert or Heavy Gunner, but we can see how good it does. I think we're taking a fast travel kind of to a southern part of the map I haven't really explored. Alright, we're at Westing Estates. We're gonna kind of go south from here. But yeah, when I played this game on normal difficulty the first time, I just kind of went through and, you know, I explored a lot of it, but I didn't get too sidetracked that I totally ignored the story. I made sure I went ahead and beat it. I think because one of my friends at work who was really into Fallout and he's kind of where I first learned about the franchise from. He had talked about how he'd played a bunch of this game but never beaten it. And I'm like, really? Like, from what I've heard. And then when I found out that you could just keep on playing it after you're done with it, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should just make it a point to beat the story and not get too distracted. So, yeah, so I did. And then after I beat it, I was kind of done with Fallout. Didn't really play it that much. It was kind of a one and done thing for me. After a little while, I ended up getting it on PC. I think it was on sale on Steam. And so I started up my second character on Steam, still on normal difficulty. But I used a pretty popular build I found online. If you look up the Infiltrator, like the Fallout 4 Infiltrator build, you'll find the guide I used, I'm sure. I think it was called, on a site called like the Builds That Broke Fallout. And it was like a pistol, like a stealth pistol build that used VATS a decent amount and the Deliverer. And I remember that being a lot of fun. And I didn't actually have the DLCs on Xbox, so my second playthrough using that stealth Deliverer build is when I first played through Far Harbor. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, but again, I wasn't like super into the game. And then I tuned into I believe it was a French Tomahawk Twitch stream. I don't remember if it was his Twitch stream or if I ran across one of his videos on YouTube. But he plays on survival mode, and I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with French Tomahawk. He's a huge YouTuber, and his videos are fantastic. They're super entertaining. But he makes survival mode build videos, like, you know, how to be an overpowered sniper, how to make an overpowered sniper build on survival mode, things like that. And I remember tuning into his Twitch stream because I'd heard about survival mode, but I was too afraid to try it. And I'm like, man, that's like dealing with like illness and no fast travel and like all these restrictions. Like, that sounds way too intense for me. I didn't think I'd ever give survival mode a try until I found French Tomahawk, and he seemed to have it down to a science. Like, no fast travel? No problem. Just, you know, have a planned route. Know where some key things are that you need for your build. And, you know, make sure you have a plan. And so, I don't know, I think watching French Tomahawk stream as well as his build videos, kind of, I don't know, they seeing like someone who had like the system down made me believe like I could actually give survival mode a try. And then trying survival mode is really what like got me super hooked on this game. If I hadn't discovered that, I very well could have just done my 2 normal playthroughs and just been done with the game. So, Yeah. But here we are, the explosive minigun doing some work. Some of those super mutants were pretty tanky. Yeah, it didn't take them down quite as quickly as I was expecting it to. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I guess even on, yeah, maybe it's not quite as broken as people think if you don't have any perks for it. But that probably applies to most guns, though. You're gonna need at least like some damage perks to make anything viable. But yeah, I also thought it might be fun to maybe talk a little bit about how I got into Fallout in general. Because yeah, the same friend at work that I mentioned is who I had kind of first heard about the series from. I was pretty into Borderlands, like I mentioned a few times already, and I remember him asking me, "Hey man, have you played like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas?" And I'm like, "No, what's that?" And he's like, he's like, "I think you'd really like it. It's a first-person shooter, like post-apocalyptic RPG." And I'm like, "Yeah, that seems like it could be up my alley. I'll have to check it out." And so I found Fallout 3 on sale. I think I bought it off of Amazon, if I remember correctly. I think it was on sale for pretty cheap. And so I bought it for the PlayStation 3. And, you know, loaded up Fallout 3. And I got through Vault 111. And I think I made it to Megaton City before I gave up on the game. I kind of like to say I rage quit Fallout 3 after a few hours. I just couldn't handle it. It was really rough going from playing Borderlands 2, like Borderlands 2 being my favorite game at the time, to Fallout 3, because I was just thinking like, I got out into the real world, got into combat, and I'm just like, what is this? I'm playing a first-person shooter, and there's no way to do something as simple as like look down iron sights, and it just the shooting felt super clunky. And then when the game introduced VATS to me, or it's like, you know, target something in VATS, and I targeted like a mole rat in VATS, and every part of its body, it's like 20 to 30%. And I'm like, why would I use this if the percentages are so low? This seems useless. So I was not impressed with the combat. Didn't quite understand VATS. And then, oh yeah, we got a legendary rotting ghoul here. And a withered ghoul showing up too. But so yeah, the combat just felt super clunky, especially coming from Borderlands. And then, like, the level up system I didn't totally understand. It's like, so I've got points put into my special stats, and then I've also got perk points I'm putting stuff into when I level up, and then I've also got points I'm putting into the skills, and the skills didn't really make sense to me. Like, I remember thinking, okay, I can put points into a small gun skill, but what does that do for me? I think the description in the game only says, like, you know, you get better at using small guns, but I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Do they deal more damage? If so, how much more damage do they deal? Do they reload faster? Like, what does getting better with small guns mean? I think a lot of the skills just seemed kind of vague, and so I didn't really have a good grasp on what I was doing. So, yeah, I didn't make it very far into Fallout 3 before I just quit and decided Fallout was not for me. And then I remember when Fallout 4 came out, I was still kind of bitter. Still had a bad taste in my mouth with my Fallout 3 experience, and just kind of decided, even though I had a few coworkers that seemed really excited and into it, I'm like, you know what? That'll be their thing. It's not for me. Like, Fallout 3 was lame. Fallout 3 was lame. Didn't have super high expectations for Fallout 4 either. So, just kind of didn't worry about it. And then we started doing this thing called Teammate of the Week at my job. And I think HR nominated the first person. And they got like a little trophy to have at their desk, and you got a $50 gift card. And then every Monday, whoever was the previous week's Teammate of the Week got to give the honor to another one of the employees there. So it's something that was awarded by all the employees kind of to each other. So I ended up winning Teammate of the Week, which meant I got a $50 gift card, and I decided to treat myself, use it to treat myself to a video game. So I went to GameStop, and at this point I did have an Xbox One. Went to GameStop and, you know, browsed what they had. Nothing really caught my eye, but I saw that they did have Fallout 4, and I remember thinking, you know what, Fallout 3 at this point is kind of an older game. Maybe they've improved a lot of the stuff in Fallout 4, you know, especially with it being on a new generation of consoles. So I bought Fallout 4 and gave it a try, and I ended up loving it. I'm like, noticed right away that the combat felt way better. It didn't have the weird, like, skill level up system that I didn't understand in Fallout 3. I could more easily grasp, like, I still love the perk tree in Fallout 4. I think it's a good combination of being easy to understand, but deep at the same time. It allows for so much variety of builds. Like, there's so many different kinds of builds you can make in Fallout 4 with its perk tree. So I ended up loving the perk tree, and, you know, really had a lot of fun with the game. So, but it's kind of funny, like, I just kind of, based on my Fallout 3 experience, I kind of almost given up on the franchise, like giving the franchise a try in general. And if if it hadn't been kind of the only somewhat interesting looking game to me at GameStop that day, you know, I wouldn't have really tried it. So yeah, anyway, in case you're wondering, that's kind of how I got into Fallout 4, and also kind of why, you know, why I've never actually played Fallout 3 or New Vegas, and why I don't do challenge runs of those games, because I'm not really familiar with them very much. I have given Fallout 3 another chance since then. I still haven't beaten it, but I've gotten my character, I think, to at least level 20. The last time I played, I had been starting the one of the DLCs, the Point Lookout DLC, and I am enjoying it a lot more than my first attempt. But yeah, and I'll probably give New Vegas another shot too. I've played New Vegas very briefly, but kind of had the same issues with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this kind of trip down memory lane, as well as story time with Twonky, and I will catch you later. Bye.